Find the value of the fourth root of 81 multiplied by 10 to the power 8. As we have a multiplication sign in the middle, I can separate this into two parts, as being the fourth root of 81, take the multiplication sign out, multiply by the fourth root, in this case of 10 to the power 8. To work out the 4 of 81, we've got to think about what number raised to the power 4 equals the number inside the root, which in this case is 81. In this case, our answer is 3, because 3 times 3 gives you 9, 9 times 3 is 27, and 27 times 3 gives you 81. So the 4 of 81 is simply 3. Leaving the multiplication sign alone, if we're working out the root of a power, we can just simply divide the powers. So we're going to keep the base the same, in this case 10, and 8 divided by 4 gives you 2. Another way to think about it is the fourth root is the same as raising something to the power of a quarter. Here, as we have the fourth root of 10 to the power 8, therefore I'm going to have 10 to the power 8 in brackets raised to the power of a quarter. And if we have a power raised to power, we know laws of indices, we multiply our powers. And 8 times a quarter, when multiplying by a fraction, we can just divide by the bottom and times by the top. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 2 times 1 is simply 2. Leaving the 3 alone, we know that 10 squared means 10 times 10, and 10 times 10 gives us 100, and 3 times 100 gives us a final answer of 300. Find the value of 64 to the power negative a half. We know a negative power means the reciprocal. In other words, to turn it upside down. 64 is the same as 64 over 1. Hence, turning upside down, whatever's on the top goes to the bottom, and vice versa. Hence, I'm going to rewrite my fraction as being 1 over 64, and the power is now positive, so 64 is the power a half. 1 over power a half means the square root of the base. In this case, the square root of 64. Leaving the 1 alone, I know the square root of 64 is 8. Hence, my final answer is 1 over 8. Write 3 to the power n divided by 9 to the power n minus 1 as a power of 3. On the top, I've already got a power of 3. So I'm going to leave 3 to the power n alone. I know a horizontal line means divide. So divide it by. On the bottom, 9 as a power of 3. Well, I know 9 is the same as 3 times 3, which in index form is the same as power of 3 as 3 squared. So instead of writing 9, in brackets, I'm going to write 3 to the power 2, i.e. 3 squared, and that will still raise to the power n minus 1, leaving the 3n and the divide alone for now. When we have a power raised to power, laws of indices, we multiply our powers. As I've got two terms, in this case I've got to multiply each term by 2. So 2 times n gives us 2n, and 2 times negative 1 gives us negative 2. When dividing, if we've got the same base, we keep the base the same and we subtract our powers. As we've got two terms, that subtract applies to each term. So minus times 2n will give us minus 2n, and a minus will give us a plus. Leaving the base alone and simplify my powers on the top. Well, here I've got n subtract 2n. They're like terms as they both end in single n. So 1n subtract 2n will simplify to give us negative n. And I've still got the number term, in this case, plus 2. Hence, my final answer as a power of 3 is 3 to the power negative n plus 2. Or I could write that as 3. I could write the positive term first, in this case, the number term, in this case, 2. And then the negative n second.